Hello, my name is Alyssa Lucadamo, and this presentation is called Advocating for Underachieving Gifted Learners. It was created as Program Competency Standard 7 Collaboration for Wilmington University's Gifted and Talented Practicum course for the spring 2016 semester. Let's get started. First, I wanted to discuss a little bit about why we should worry about underachievers. Gifted underachievers don't seem to have a lot of advocates in public education. In fact, underachievement is one of the most frustrating behaviors for parents and teachers alike. We'll often hear faculty room complaints that there needs to be a clear exit process for gifted programming, and students who aren't achieving need to be booted out. And that belief really resonates with parents as well, because some parents might believe that an underachieving gifted learner is taking up a valuable seat in a class that maybe their child deserves. So I believe that it's really important to examine our beliefs about underachieving behavior in order to demolish some of these misconceptions about gifted and talented learners that exist. We know that a student who is highly intelligent in one area might not necessarily be high achieving in every area. And there are a lot of different causes for students to not achieve to their potential. And this presentation will start to examine some of those causes. Another reason why it's important to worry about underachievers is because early intervention can actually reverse patterns of underachievement. So one of the reasons I wanted to advocate for this issue is because I feel like teachers and parents, once they're informed, can have a great impact on their child's success. Additionally, in addition to academic support, we also need to be sure that we're providing our students with emotional support and looking out for their socio-emotional needs. Our adolescent students in middle school are working through stages of identity development, and Moon points out that there could have been many more stages than are previously thought. So as we're helping students to define themselves and to come up with a consistent picture of who they are as learners, we want to try to get them set up in good habits that will give them a positive self-concept. Just a little bit of background on the school and the collaborators involved in this project. At Dover Central Middle School, gifted students are grouped together on teams, and in 8th grade, that is the 8 Red team, where I teach. We have 3 gifted class sections with a total of 96 students, and our average class size is 32. These are large classes, and they're diverse in terms of race and socioeconomic status, but the demographics of our gifted learners do not necessarily reflect the demographics of the school. For example, our school is approximately 60% African American, while our gifted class sections are only 40% African American. So that is a big difference within our school. However, the 8 Red team works with the students that we have. Including myself, I'm the English Language Arts teacher, and I also teach a journalism elective class. We have science and social studies teachers who are very helpful in this project as well, particularly the social studies teacher who's very tech savvy. And our math teacher teaches Honors Algebra 1 as well as a STEM elective. And I'll be discussing our individual contributions to this project a little bit later. Our advocacy project has 3 goals. Our first goal was to inform other education professionals, including related arts teachers and administrators, about some potential causes of underachievement among gifted learners. Now, although the core content teachers are pursuing certification for gifted and talented, the related arts teachers, like the gym teachers and the art teachers and the family and consumer science teachers, don't necessarily have that background knowledge. So it's really important that we are able to give them some tools and strategies for dealing with underachieving behaviors that they may notice. Additionally, administrators have the power to make scheduling decisions. So it's really important that they understand that our goal should be to work with a student and understand why they're underachieving, rather than to simply move the student out into a different setting. Our second goal is to provide education professionals with research-based strategies to address underachieving behaviors in the classroom. So once we've recognized the causes of underachievement, then we look at the strategies that will be able to sort of solve those problems. And finally, our third goal is to create a common language to communicate with parents and guardians about the needs of underachieving gifted learners. Our audience for our project is teachers, administrators, and parents. We worked very hard to have parent-friendly language on our product as well. And we're hoping that teachers, parents, and students can all see the benefits from this project, particularly students who are underachieving currently. So our product was to create a website with information and resources for parents, teachers, and administrators about coping with underachieving behaviors among gifted students. We wanted a website because we thought that would be very accessible to the teachers who are currently working with us. Veteran teachers can access the information, and now that the website has been created, new teachers who come in will also have access to it. We also thought that the website would be accessible to parents as well. Even parents who don't have internet access at home often have smartphones or go to the library to use the computer there. So we thought that an online resource would be really helpful for everyone involved. You can see the website is screenshotted here, and the URL is up at the top. You could actually visit it, and that's actually what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to exit out of the presentation and take you to our website. So here it is. It's entitled UA Gifted Support, and it provides resources for families and educators. And I decided to feature prominently on the page this quote from Jennifer Bishop. Instead of ungifting the gifted underachiever, educators should work to identify the root causes of a student's underachievement and select appropriate interventions for them. And really that thought undergirds the structure of the entire website. So if we scroll down, you'll see that our goals are stated on the website as well as some articles and resources for parents and educators. And we tried to choose some of the websites that were written in the most family-friendly language and that had the most practical suggestions. We didn't want our information to be too bogged down in theory. We wanted everything to be really practical. So if you look at the tabs at the top, what is underachievement explains that underachievement is a discrepancy between a child's potential and the academic achievement they demonstrate in school. And it's really important that we chose an idea from Delisle and Berger to point out here that underachievement is a behavior. It's something that can be changed over time. And it's really important for both parents and teachers to understand this. You know, when a student is gifted in failing math, that's a behavior that we can fix. You know, if a student knows the material but is disorganized, that's a behavior that we can fix. We just have to find the right teaching strategies to address those specific problems. On the next tab, I have the possible causes of underachievement. We were able to identify 4 possible causes, and not all of these causes will apply to every student, but the key is finding out which cause applies to your particular student, and then selecting the appropriate strategies afterward. So we found that a serious physical, cognitive, or emotional issue might be getting in the way of a student's learning, or there could be a mismatch between the student and his or her learning environment, or the student may have an attitude about him or herself or the school that is getting in the way of learning, or finally a student might have a lack of self-regulation and study skills. And each of those strategies is going to be addressed in our Strategies for Teachers tab and our Strategies for Families tab. So the Strategies for Teachers tab is organized in a table format. In the first column, you'll see the potential causes listed, and in the second column, you'll see the teacher interventions. Now, the one thing that we were upset about in creating this table is that it wouldn't let us do a bulleted list where all of the items were listed vertically. So some of the boxes get a little bit difficult to read. However, all of the suggestions are really, really practical and really, really specific. So I think that they'll be useful for teachers if they can get through the way that the text is set up. Similarly, the strategies for families are listed in a table format, and there's a little bit more explanation there for each of the strategies. And there are lots and lots of suggestions for addressing each of the different causes of underachieving behaviors. Finally, this last tab relates to our third goal, which was to create a common language about underachieving behavior. And what I did was we chose some of the terms that occurred frequently on the website after we had created it, and we used some of our resources to define those terms, just so that parents and teachers and administrators all have a common vocabulary when we're discussing some of these topics like praise and twice exceptional students. We tried to choose things that not necessarily everyone would already be familiar with. And finally, we included an About Us page that introduces the team as well as our mission, and our contact information is provided at the bottom of the homepage. So if someone needed to get in touch with us, they could contact us at the school or via my email. So to return to the presentation, I wanted to talk a little bit about our collaboration process. As I mentioned earlier, each team member has a really unique expertise. I am the wordsmith of the team because I'm the English teacher, and our social studies teacher has a lot of technological skills that really helped us to create a website that was user-friendly and also contained a lot of information. The science, social studies, and math teacher, we've worked together for this entire school year. In fact, I've worked with the social studies and math teachers last year as well. So we already have a really good rapport that exists within our team, and we are very used to making decisions together collaboratively. Even when we disagree, we can talk through a problem rationally and come to a consensus on it because we all have, a great deal of respect for one another. The fact that our classrooms are very close to one another enables very frequent face-to-face meetings, and we also have email conversations as well. To help keep us on task, we used group and individual to-do lists to make sure that all of the responsibilities were divided up evenly and that we could accomplish everything we needed to in the allotted time. Finally, we also allowed some time for reflection and self-assessment, which I'll discuss a little bit on the next slide. To evaluate our progress, there were some things that we're already very proud of. We're proud that the website is live and that you can visit it. We believe it to be well organized and aesthetically pleasing. And we worked really hard to create language that is both educator-friendly and family-friendly. We tried to avoid overusing educational jargon, and where we did, we tried to explain what it meant. And we're also proud of having really practical research-based strategies for all of the stakeholders involved. Some of the things that we're still working on are linking our website to the school website and to Schoology, which is an online learning management system that we use in our school. We're also looking to set up face-to-face meetings with teachers, parents, and administrators who are interested in learning more, and some one-on-one support by individual requests from teachers. So I think once more people are aware of the website and the information that is there, the more interest we will have in those face-to-face meetings. I'd like to conclude my presentation by showing you my references. These were used in my collaboration paper as well as in our product. And I want to thank you for listening to the presentation. Thank you.